Hello, savvy listeners. I am excited you are taking the time to invest in yourself today. Savvy, the business podcast, will show you how your daily habits can create your own platform. Experts will share solutions and efficient tips to create a roadmap just for you. One thing that can make this happen: change your habits, change your success. Welcome to Savvy, the business podcast. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me on Savvy, the business podcast. I'm Melissa Ambrose, your host. And today we're on with Miss Cathy Smith. And I came across her profile on social media, like most of us do, and I was intrigued. I said, I want to talk to this lady and see what's going on. So I invited her to be a guest on the show, and she graciously accepted. So we have her here with us today. I'm going to read you a little bit about her bio, but not too much because we really want to talk with her and just see what she's been up to. Cathy E. Smith is the chief online marketing strategist of C2 Internet Marketing Strategies LLC and has 10 plus years of experience in online marketing and e-commerce. She served as host of the Prime Show PR and Internet Marketing for Entrepreneurs Show, a weekly internet podcast designed with business owners in mind for 4 years. She is also the author of Turn Your Passion into Profits, free and low cost online marketing for entrepreneurs. This is why I had to get her on, which provides information to assist small business owners in developing their online presence on a small budget. So, Miss Smith,
Yes.
first get into C2 Internet Marketing Strategies. Tell us, one, how did that come for you um, to create a company like that? And what's different with your marketing strategy than all these other marketing firms that's out there?
I am glad you asked. So C2 is, most people spell Cathy with a K, and mine is with a C, and my husband's name is Craig. So I named it C Squared
Uh,
Internet Marketing Strategies. And so how I got involved in that around 2003, 2004, I used to sell designer wedding gowns at a discount. And the supplier was in my local area. The supplier was in Baltimore, Maryland. And just one day, out of the blue on a Wednesday, they went out of business. So I used to do the gowns in person, but then I decided to open a online wedding accessory store. And I learned about drop shipping. And drop shipping is basically when you have a business license, you can buy things wholesale. And usually the supplier has a picture of the image already for you. And you set up a store and it goes either directly to you or directly to the drop shipper, and they ship it with your labeling on it. And so I decided to set up an online wedding accessory store. And there, my interest in online marketing began because I paid a company like $300 to do search engine optimization, which is basically getting you to the front page of Google. And I was like, that is a lot of money. And so I just started learning more and more about marketing your business online. So after the gown part went out of business, I stopped doing it and I closed my store. And then in 2011, I picked it back up when I joined a women's entrepreneur group, and I decided to focus on social media. And I self-taught myself social media. Like, you should not buy followers. And the reason why you should not buy followers is because they're not your target audience. While it looks good on the surface, it doesn't make you any money. And I what makes me different is I teach business owners that you don't need to be on all platforms. You just need to be on 2 to 3. Why? One, because if you want to keep a consistent presence, if you're on all of them, you're not going to be consistent. That's one. And number two, you just need to find out which platforms are your ideal audience on. So
Wow, I
that's what
I like that you said quite a few things, but um not being on all platforms, I say that all the time. One, all of them they're not for you, and they're not for your audience is not on those particular platforms. So whatever business it is, that's where you need to decide, okay, what's best for me, and those are the ones that you need to zone in on. And then buying followers, oh my god, that's, I mean, everybody's so big on, oh, I got 10,000, oh, I got 20,000, I got, this, but you can have all those followers, you can have all of those likes, but did any of that pay your bills? So that, so let's talk a little bit more about buying followers. One is not your target audience, and it's very important to have authentic followers, even if you have, 3 or 4 followers that's authentically coming in, because those are the ones that's looking at your information, they're intrigued, they're inquiring. Those are the ones that you want. So yes, three does not is not a good look, for some things with marketing and sponsorships, but it's a lot better than having 10,000. And when you go after those sponsors and all these other people and you have to produce, now you're like, oh,
Yeah, and actually, Facebook is not my number one platform,
no,
but you can't be a social media trainer and not have a presence on Facebook. And I do have like a super fan on Facebook, and when I post stuff, she shares it. And I don't even think that she's a business owner. I think she just likes what I post, you know?
right.
So it does make a difference.
Yeah, it does. It does. So when you, like say, even though it's you're self-taught and you go teach um, individuals on how to use social media, how to determine what platform is better suited for your business. How often do you come across that's adamant about a particular platform, and you immediately see you should not be over there?
Well, when we were having live workshops, I get my energy off of live workshops. I mean, live streaming is great, but there's nothing like being in the room. And at my last live major workshop, I went um, uh, through the room and told each person, based on what their business is, what the best platform for them was.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right.
like, I believe that Twitter is good if you are in the media, if you're a blogger, if you're a coach, if you share tips, if that. I believe that Twitter is your platform. If you're an author, I would say at least 25% of the people that follow me are some type of book author platforms, or where you can post your book after you sold. I mean, if you're going to sell it,
Right.
or they're for authors. And I don't know if that's because I had author in my bio at one time. I think I took it out, but um you know there's lots of platforms that you can sell your books on, and a lot of authors are on Twitter.
Mhm. Right. And
So
speaking of like social media, in order to be on social media, you have to have some type of content to put out there on social media. And content is more than a quote or sharing an article. It can be video, it can be tips, it can be solution. It's a variety of different things that's out there that can be utilized as content. What do you say to the small business owners that just want to get on social media to sell, 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 and don't offer any content to gain those followers?
Whew, I'm so glad you said that because
Yep.
one of my social pet peeves is you should not connect with somebody with the sole purpose of selling. Um, I'm very cautious about who I accept on any platform. I always go to your profile. But if accept your connection and then you immediately try to sell me, that is like a big turnoff, like block or whatever, because
Yes.
selling is about relationships. And s sometimes you don't even know if the person needs your services or is interested in your services. So I find that on LinkedIn, sometimes people
A lot.
will, even though I have like, I teach video marketing and things like that, and that's one of my skill sets. Can I offer you a video? Can I offer you, the very things that I do
That you're
to
doing. Right.
yeah.
Right.
So you need to be mindful of that when you connect with people, but it should be some common interest or reciprocal, or saying that, I just wanted to get to know you and learn about your business. And even if you do start with that, don't connect and then the next thing out of your mouth is sell, because that is a huge turnoff. And honestly, I stopped responding. Um, you know, and I have been in several direct sales and multi-level marketing. And I guess people are attracted to that and they think that I want to join that. And I have no interest in that anymore. But a lot of connections, that's what they want me to look at their business opportunity. And I feel like, why get a piece of the pie and have the whole pie? Because if you are your own person and growing off of your skills and your knowledge and your ability, then you can have the whole percentage and not just a piece. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. My parents have been in Amway for probably 40 years. But just for me personally, I'm not I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in building my own intellectual property with my knowledge and skills and helping other people do the same.
Hey, savvy listeners, it's your girl Tracy with another edition of Coffee Cup Therapy. How's everyone doing today? So, today I'm going to address just the ladies, but gentlemen, please feel free to listen. So, ladies, let's get our coffee and let's get this party started. Okay, then, honey, listen. The common thread of all successful, accomplished, and respected women is confidence. You know, that certain swag about themselves, knowing who they are and knowing what they want. You see, the confident woman doesn't worry about what's happening with the next person. No, not at all. What they're concerned about is their project and they're focused on their next goal. You see, that's the mindset. That's the seed that needs to be planted. That's where it all begins. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and loving who you are at this very moment. Now, y'all go out and take this good word and be great today. Remember, this world absolutely needs you. And oh, yeah, enjoy that cup of coffee today. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to send me some feedback. Tell me what's on your mind. You can send those emails to media@savvymag.biz. Hope to hear from you soon. Y'all have an amazing day.
Right. And and you're exactly right. And for LinkedIn to be the type of platform it is, I think, like you said earlier, people just jumping on the platforms, trying to find, and even before the pandemic, I mean, it was just, people jumping on. And I get, now people are trying to come back and rebuild after, the type of year that we've all have had. And I think that's where you have to be more mindful now, because people are paying more attention to the money that they're shelling out,
Absolutely.
because for some it's next to none, and for some it's really, really tight. So they're really mindful on those dollars now, and not just, oh yeah, let me try that, that sounds good. It's more of, I don't need that right now. So things have shifted to more necessity than wants, for, like I said, a lot of obvious reasons. But I know a lot of times in business we talk about automation, and that is a really great thing to have, but it is not good to have on social media, because that's where a lot of the messages come in of that selling. And that also tells me, if you're coming to me and see that that I do, marketing, that I do videos, and you're coming, hey, I have a video service and I could do blah blah blah. You didn't even look at my profile. You don't know anything about me. So why would I want to do business with you if you're not going to take that little extra time to look at what I'm doing? So that tells me you don't care about, building that relationship. You just want to, okay, let me go ahead and make this quick dollar. um so you have to be really mindful of those things, and look at a person's profile. Take the little time to look at their profile, see what they do, scroll through their feed, see what they're posting, see what they're talking about, and that will definitely give you an idea of what they're doing or why they're doing whatever. So that's how you could go after a person. So say even if they already do video and you do video, what you could come in and say after you've, had some conversations, what you could come in and say is, I see that you do video, or, do you're interested in collaboration or partnership, or create a platform. There's a project coming up and I could use some help with some video. And then that'll start some type of open conversation. But don't do that and then go straight into, okay, well, I could do that video for this amount of money. You have to understand how to build those platforms, right?
Absolutely.
So let's jump over to turn your passion into profits. Free and low cost online marketing for entrepreneurs. Um, that is right now, people are looking for free, but at the same time, getting free, they want the quality.
Absolutely.
And that is so important when we're looking for free uh, things. And now we're looking for free because we don't have the money. The money is gone. People have gone through their savings and, everything else that they had, thinking, okay, well, I'll be okay if something happens. We'll be okay for a couple of months. But you know, things have gone way beyond that. So first, let's talk about the free services. Some things that people can look for when they're looking for free services and still have that good quality that they're looking for, until they're able to build a little bit to start getting to the paid services.
So now it's not so much. When I initially wrote that book, a lot of people did not know that, like Verizon, Infinity, they had free web services with your internet. And I guess people weren't using it, so they got rid of it. But that being said, there still are platforms. Like, a lot of times, I know this is a common phrase that a lot of business owners were like, I need a website. Well, if you use Mailer Lite is will allow you 5 free web pages or landing pages, which is landing pages or just
Mhm.
one page website. But if you have up to 500 subscribers, so you could start with that. Now, the only bad thing about that is that it gives you like a jumbled domain. So you could either one, pay for a domain, or you can use MailerLite's domain with the jumbled, but subscribe to bit.ly or Owly or a link shortener and customize it on the end. And so when you post it on social media or online, people don't see that garbled link. That's one way of getting around it, but they can still you can still share your message. So in this period of, COVID and people not really being careful, well, people being careful with their dollars, that is one way that you can have a website. It may not be custom with all the pages, but if your key is to sell an item, uh, or build your list, you can do that using MailerLite. And there are a few others, but I like the functionality of MailerLite because it's drag and drop. And for people who are not tech savvy or can't afford to pay someone, I think it's a great tool. And even in one of my last workshops, I shared, well, actually, I had a summit, joint summit back in June. I shared how to add the PayPal button to your MailerLite page. So if you wanted to sell something, if you wanted to sell an ebook or whatever, you could add that link to the one page website, and don't let that stop you from, making sales or sharing online to build your list.
What do you, as far as websites, what do you think about the frequency of updating or upgrading your website? Most people, when they get a website, it's like, okay, I got a website and that's done, and they don't do anything to it for years. So what do you think about, or with people that do that and the frequency that they should go back revisit it, because throughout that process you should be growing, and if you're growing, your website should be growing with you. So what do you have to say with, for people that's doing that and not going back and updating their sites?
I think that you should put it on your calendar almost like paying taxes. You should do an annual review or a 6-month review, or, at least every 6 months, you should take a look at your website and say, have my services changed? Has my brand message changed? If you have lead capture for somebody to sign up and give their email, is that still working for you?
Mhm.
And a lot of times, it depends on what stage of your business you are. People don't really go to your website. So, most of the time, when you're speaking somewhere or for credibility, you do need a website. But if you're just into sales and marketing, you could probably get away with a landing page. Now, I know some people may not agree with that, but I think that a lot of times people are procrastinate or paralyzed because they don't have a website. And I just believe that you shouldn't let not having a website stop you from moving forward.
Mhm. Mhm. Do in websites are, I'm not going to say websites will ever go away, but do you think websites now is more so strictly for that informational page on your business, instead of, like years ago where you go to the website, okay, that's, oh, if they got a website, oh wow, they're this business, okay, let me go buy this, buy that. Now websites are more informational, and that's even more, why you have to be sure that you go back and do the reevaluation.
Yes, yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that. They are more informational. And in the world, this online world, even before everything that's happened,
Right.
that's what people do first, they Google you to see, like, make sure you're not scam artists, or, they check that. So it is like your credibility stamp or the go-to informational place. Now, if you are a coach or a consultant and people have to go there to sign up with you or something like that, then it may get used a little bit more, but mostly it's a credibility factor. Like, I can't find this person online anywhere, So um I do not believe that websites will ever go away. And maybe in 2021 I'll get more into it, but I do own a domain, Choose Your Website Designer. And it was birthed out of, I see so many people, it's twofold. It's for people looking for a good web designer, and it's also for web designers to get listed on there. But I plan on vetting the web designers before. You can't just be on there, kind of like the Angie's List, but for web design.
Right.
Because I see so many people get burned by web designers, on both sides. On the client side, they don't know what they want, and they don't take the time. They throw money at the web designer, but they don't have a clear idea of the structure of their website or what they want to offer. You can pay somebody, but you need to have an idea of the kind of content you want to have on there before you go paying somebody. And on the other side of the coin, I've seen web designers take people's money and never ever finish the project. And that's disheartening. I think it's dishonest.
Right. I've seen that as well. Or if they did finish the website, it was crappy.
Yeah,
It was you're and it's not so much that the person was like nitpicking at every little thing. I mean, blatantly when you open it up, it's like, oh, the colors
right.
don't go. It just looked like somebody just took a dumpster and just did this, and here you go. And I'm like, wow. So I mean, it's unfortunate that there is people out there that's like that. Um, and let's touch on credibility. Yes, you have that website that speaks to who you are and the type of work that you can offer, but people always have to remember, just because you give them that website and say, hey, go here, that could be all nice, flashy, glamorous, but today, people are going to go a little further. They're going to go straight to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and they're going to say, okay, well, let's see what they're doing over here. And even on that side, yes, you may have a business page, but on your personal page, it also has to represent you as well. People forget, oh, well, I'm not doing that over there. That's my business. I mean, my personal page. It doesn't matter. People will follow you and they will look at you. So you can't be doing craziness on your personal page. And then when you get to your business page, you go, okay, you can't have those two, because one, they're going to look at that and see like, oh, if you acting like this, I don't know if I want to work with you, because if I invite you to an event or represent you to one of my partners or somebody, I don't know how you're going to react. So do you agree with that as well, that it's just not your website, it's every single thing that you do, personal, private, business page, it does not matter?
It, 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 it I wholeheartedly agree with that. And a lot of people don't want to get on Facebook because they don't want people personal, but um, you can hide your personal page so that only you can see it. If you need the benefit of having a business Facebook page, you can hide, you can hide it so that only your true family and friends, like if you were to put it in the search bar, no one would be able to find it. Um,
That's a good point. Yeah.
and you're absolutely right about what you do personally. So true story recently. And I don't want to get into politics, so I'm just gonna
Right.
just this put a disclaimer. Someone that I admired, and she always put her Christian faith out there, and she's a marketer. And she recently shared her political preference, and I unfollowed her because not because of who her political preference is,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a free country.
Mm-hmm.
We can choose not to agree, but the fact that she said, if you unfollow me, you're not Christian.
Oh.
Right. If you unfollow me because I've shared who my political preference is, then you're not Christian. I had a problem with that. So I unfollowed her. I unfollowed her on Facebook. I unfollowed her on Instagram because this is a free country. I can respect, that's your political choice. And I have my political choice, but to say you're not a Christian because you don't agree with her, you know. And she ended up coming on the day later in the day after she made that announcement that she got death threats.
At the same time, I completely understand what you're saying, but other people have to remember that there's this thing that's called freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
And people can say whatever they want, however they want to say, as long as they're not threatening to you. But for you to voice your opinion, regardless if I agree with it or not, it's not right for somebody else to come back with death threats. That just doesn't, I've never been able to wrap my head around that. That just simply does not make sense for anyone to do that, regardless of what it is. Even if that, I've seen some where, it's your competitor and people going head to head with certain things. And for you to get, I'm going to say virtually physical with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
that that's just, it's not okay. And what does that solve? We have to go back to, let's just agree to disagree. We don't have to agree on this situation, and we could still be, cool with each other. But let's not get so tied into um our feelings and our beliefs that if you don't think like me and do what I do, say what I say, and support me in what I'm doing, then you're not this person. I don't have to support you in some of the things that you're doing because I don't agree with it. Doesn't mean I may dislike you as a person, but at the same time, it depends on what that thing is that you're doing as well.
Right, right.
So
And
is I know we're getting off topic a little bit, but people, it's 2020. We have to get this thing out of our head, whether it's our colleagues in business, personal, family, people that you don't know. This is America. I mean, we're free to do what we want as long as I'm not physically harming you. Stop with all the adult bullying and the adult attacks, because that's trickling down to these generations under you to do the same thing. And it's just not, it doesn't make sense. It's just not right. Let's just agree to disagree and move on. If we're still going to be, okay with each other, fine. We agree to disagree and we'll just never touch that subject again. Or, maybe, let's talk about this. Let's have a conversation about, to be sure we have an understanding and we could still agree to disagree and still be okay. So just
absolutely.
let's get back to that. Stop being so serious about certain things, but at the same time we have to respect each other. It goes
Absolutely.
as simple as that. Respect each other, whether I like your views, don't like your views, your politic views, your business, whatever it is. We don't have to always agree with each other. That's what makes us so great, that we don't have to agree with each other and we can still move on and do, whatever it is that we want to do. So sorry, sidebar, sidetrack,
No,
but
but I think that's important. I mean,
yeah,
even though it was a sidetrack, it's really real because people
it
feel
is.
like they're a part of your lives online. And I was sad that she got, death threats over it.
Of course.
But you know, I even though I just chose to, I probably will never spend money with her again, but to the point of threatening her because of what she said, I mean, I thought that was a bit extreme,
Yeah.
but you know,
And that's your preference. Like you say, you unfollow her, you may not spend money with her, and that's fine. That is your right to make that decision. And it's okay. We're moving on. That's it. But you see her out in public somewhere, you still gonna speak to her. You still may even have a brief conversation with her, but it's not, you know, that cut off, that bullying, that attacking. It's none of that. It's just, okay, this is what I've decided to do, and I'm moving on.
and truth be told, I probably, if she had not said, if you're not a Christian,
Right, right, right.
like if she had expressed her political views, um they, I mean, I hadn't followed her lately, but I mean, I've been following her for years.
Yeah.
I don't think that she said anything that was offensive to me personally. She just was saying what, why she had her views. But when you say that you're not a Christian, I think that's what for me
It
did
went a
it.
little too far. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, we're coming up close to the end of the show, but we did get sidetracked a little bit, and that's okay because sometimes it's needed. It's needed to have some of those conversations or share some of those point of views. Um, but before we get out of here, let's hit on the second end of your book. We talked about the free and then the low cost online marketing. Um, Low cost is a variety of different things, and when a company offers something low cost and you're going in at that low cost, you have to understand that you're not going to get, even though it's a package that's $1,500, and they decide, okay, well, instead of 1,500, let me adjust the package and charge, $650 for it. You're not going to get the exact same thing. So you have to be willing to understand that and be willing to pay whatever that cost is and get what you're going to get with it. But again, you have to be sure you're getting a good quality of work from that individual. So, can you hit a little bit on that of the low cost and still getting a good quality product?
Okay. And so let me preface this by saying when I said low cost, at the time it was anything, any tools or services
Uh-huh.
$50 and under,
Uh-huh.
from free to $50. I didn't mention anything in the book if it was over the $50 range. A lot of times, you do have to be open to, if you feel the value, you have to look at the value that you're receiving from the product or service, and if it's worth it to you to continue. Because I think that at the end of the day, it all comes down to a value. If that tool is serving you, if that tool is serving you,
Wait a minute, say it one more time.
if that tool is serving you, you have
Right.
to look at the benefit of whether or not you want to continue. Now, for some tools or services, they reward people if you've been a customer for years. Like, I wish that I had joined LinkedIn Pro. LinkedIn has three levels: free, Pro, and Sales Navigator. I wish that I had joined the Pro version before Microsoft bought it, because it was at $29 and now it's at $59. But if you were there in the 29, you still get to keep that price. So it depends. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, are you taking advantage, and I don't mean that like taking advantage,
No,
but
right,
are you
right.
utilizing the service, and how much value is it offering you?
Mhm. Right. Um, and you're absolutely right. Is being able to research that value, kind of like you said, with the website that you have on how to locate a good web designer. Um, how how can somebody well, no, let's back up. When should somebody go to that site to start seeking out information?
Okay, so it's coming soon in 2021, but if you are, I would say if you are a customer, you should go when you have an idea of the content that you already want to put on your website.
Mhm.
You need to have an idea of some of the basic things like contact. Oh, and while we're at it, a pet peeve of mine is people who put the contact up and they don't have a phone number, because um, people want to talk to people. They don't want automated. So even if you have a Google Voice number or something, I know people frown on that, but if you have to have some type of way that people can contact you other than filling out a form.
Mhm.
You just have to. It's too many things that are automated, and people want that personal touch. And if you don't have any way of people doing that, a lot of times, because people don't set up their website, set it and forget it, they may not go to the email, or they may not see your information for weeks, months, unless they are regularly have a system set up to get your
Right.
contact information. So I just, the little sidebar for me is, I tend to get frustrated when I'm looking for information and there's no contact. And the only way that I can do it is via email.
Through the form, right? But sometimes we're not sitting in front of our computer, waiting for their contact information to pop up. Oh, okay, I got somebody. Let me call them. You know,
Exactly.
Majority of the time, even if people that's like really on it, it's still gonna be 24 to 72 hours before someone reach back out to you. Whether that's via email or anything, it's gonna be average 24 to 72 hours before you get something from somebody that's on it and watching that information come in. So no, I agree with that, because sometimes I just have a simple question, and with that question, I could decide, yeah, if I want to move forward, or no, okay, let me do some more research and find somebody else.
And I do want to say this, and a lot of web designers will not agree with me, but it is another reason why I bought Choose Your Website Designer. Do not allow your web designer to host your website.
Oh my God, no. You are so right. That's
You do
disaster.
not.
Mhm.
I'm begging you, do not. So I my first, I love my website designers. They're actually musicians, and they do website design so that they can travel and do music. But they specialize in the small business. So whereas some people start at like 2,000 for a website, they're usually 1,000 and under.
Mhm.
I've had them for a couple of years now, and I love them. But I just say that do not host. I don't care if they say it's free. You need to get your own hosting, because when that relationship ends, it can be
They got full control.
they have full control. They may delete. It's just a bad situation. Now I did that. Um, I'm not going to use the domain because they have commercials, but I can't stand them. I specifically asked my first website designer, I specifically asked, I said, if I allow her, because we had the same domain company, I
Yeah.
said, if I allow her to host my website on her account, should we end the relationship, will I have a problem getting it back? And they were like, oh, no, no
Mhm.
problem. That was not the case.
Yeah.
Until I severed my relationship just before COVID and transferred it to another domain host, they kept saying I had two accounts
Mhm.
because I said I need a supervisor and you all better get my website back under my discretion. So because things can go bad with your website designer, even they may pass away. I mean, that has happened too. You need to have control of your own website.
Most small businesses, as they're trying to grow, spend a lot of their energy on leads. And what they don't realize is there is a much more effective way to get far more clients without spending their energy and their effort on trying to get more leads. We're going to talk about that today. We have to do that by starting talking about typical client management. Get a new lead, you put their information on a sticky note and stick it on your desk. Maybe you put it in your phone and you shoot them a quick email. Hey, I'm available at these times. You're waiting for the response. And then you realize, I got to get that quote sent out. Then the phone rings and a customer calls you, your client calls you, they're trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with our service. 3 weeks later, we look back and we realize, that lead I was talking to, they never responded. And well, what's happened by now is they've completely lost interest or they've gone to one of your competitors. And this is sort of the experience that we live in, right? You have this feeling of chaos, a lot of energy in this back and forth and waiting and back and forth, and ultimately missed opportunities. These things are slipping through the cracks. There is a way to plug the holes in your business and take advantage of those missed opportunities, but it requires that you have a mental shift in the way you think about managing your clients. Smart client management is a completely different approach. This is the way that you can take every single lead that comes into your business and systematically turn them into a happy client who refers over and over again. There are 3 elements to smart client management. The first is organize and personalize. You have got to get yourself out of the chaos and to a place where you're organized. By the way, you're going to find out you have a lot more leads than you thought you did when you start putting them in one place and keeping the information together. If you learn important details about your clients, you're going to record that. Why is this so important? Because what your clients want is they want a personalized experience. They want to feel like you understand them through every step. The second element is reduce friction. What that means is we're well beyond the days where you should be texting your availability to your client so that they can look at their calendar and text you back. It means you shouldn't be sending out a Microsoft Word quote or invoice and then asking your client to just pay you by check. We are far beyond that. You've got to reduce the friction. How do you make it really easy for someone to refer you if they have a friend who they think should take advantage of your business? So reduce all the friction you can so your clients say, man, it is easy to do business with them. The third element is follow-up. We have got to fix the follow-up failure. That's where a lot of this waste and leakage is happening, is we're just not following up enough. So at every step, we've got to make sure we have backup follow-up systems in place. If I have a brand new lead and I'm going to invite them to an appointment, they haven't replied, I've got to send them a quick reminder. If they have scheduled an appointment, I want to make sure that they're reminded the day before, maybe the morning of, so that they're not forgetting that appointment and I'm sitting there wasting an hour with my schedule filled out for that appointment. And of course, as we get new clients, it's critical that we stay in touch with our new clients, we continue to deliver value to them, and that they feel like we have a relationship. Don't make referrals be accidental. Make sure you're following up. When your client has had a great experience, proactively reach out to them and follow up and ask them for reviews and ask them for referrals. So I want you to just stop and reflect on your business and ask yourself the question, how often do I have leads that are slipping through the cracks? Opportunities that I'm missing because I'm doing typical client management. And maybe the more important question is, how much opportunity is there in my business? What would happen if I was organized? I had a system where I was personalizing the message for every one of my clients. I reduced all of the friction so people felt like I was easy to do business with, and I was following up at every step of the way. How many more leads would be turning into clients? And how many more of your clients would be giving you reviews and referrals and growing your business? Smart client management is the answer for growing your small business.
Right. Right. And with it, and I want to add to that too, is that not only having control, if you have your own hosting company separate from your designer. Sometimes that web designer need passwords to get in behind the scenes for errors or a variety of different things that could go wrong as they're building that website. And once you give them access to get in to look at and do whatever they have to do, once that website is done, do not forget to change your password back to whatever you had it. Because even though you have your own hosting site, they still have access to get in to do any and everything they want, including delete all your emails, because they have access to your control panel. So you want to be sure once you give them access to go fix or do whatever they need to do to make your website work, change your password so they can no longer have access to get into your control panel. Please don't forget to do that. Had to add that part in there.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Cathy, for coming on with us today and talking about, these marketing tips and tools. And we'll have to do this again because marketing is ongoing. It's never going to stop. Things are going to change. We're moving into an AI era. Regardless, a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it is what it is. It's not going away. So it's just going to keep evolving. And I mean, we can have so many different conversations on marketing and all the different things that's out there coming, things we need to be aware of. So thanks again for coming on and joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me on. It's been
Absolutely.
a great conversation.
Yeah, we did. Let everybody know how they can reach you from your social media website, and how they can also purchase your book.
Okay. So you can find me at www.cathyesmith, and that's Cathy with the C, E Smith on that is my .com. That is my website, but I am Cathy E Smith on all social media platforms and Washington, D.C. area on LinkedIn or you and my picture is the same on all platforms. So the picture you see on my website is the same picture you will see on social media and everywhere. So check me out. I do need to, you can purchase the Turn Your Passion into Profit directly from my website. However, I will update it because it does need to be updated. But I am working on finishing up today and offering for Black Friday, releasing Build Your Course Planner. And a lot of people tell you to, create a course. But in this planner, it asks you, is there a need for your course? How to find out if people are looking for what you're offering without you actually surveying people. So I shared different tools where you can find out if people are searching the internet currently for what you're offering. And I share a comparison of different platforms that you can use, their prices and their features, and a actually course outline planner that allows you to organize it during modules, links to your videos, and have all your content on one spreadsheet so that whatever platform you choose, you can just copy and paste and you'll be good to go.
Wow, excellent. Thank you again so much. And be sure you check out our website, go out, purchase the book, support her. And if you have questions about what we talked about, like I say, post COVID, everybody's trying to come back, get things together, figure out how you need to pivot. Check her out. Send me an email, shoot her an email, and we'll be sure that we'll get those questions answered. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Savvy the Business Podcast.